Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Strong language, mature scenes, and things that go bump in the night are ahead. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to cosmic entities from the great beyond, are strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we return to the Queen of the Night. And so we want to thank you for joining us back in Fair Arkham, and we'd like you to join us as well on YouTube and join us on Twitch, where you can see and hear all of the fun things that we get up to. I would like to thank our Patreon supporters, especially you new ones who have joined just for this series. Hopefully you are enjoying all of the fine catalog of work that the Old Ways has put on. And now we will get to player and character introductions, which will begin to my right.
Hello, this is Mike, and I am playing Charles Thurgood, an antiquarian who is off to visit the Orne Library in Miskatonic to, well, perhaps see if he can talk his way into the restricted reading area.
That might take some deft discussions there, Charles. We'll see how that goes. Next to Charles.
Hi, this is Morgan, and I play Annie Mae Thurgood, and my pronouns are she, her. And Annie Mae is a parapsychologist who made a sweet blood angel in the last episode. She was just really, us, we were just trying to get into, the feel of it. Really just dig in to our specialty.
Yeah, it's method psychology. Sure. Next to Annie.
Hi, my name is Bunny. I'm playing Detective Beatrice Locke. Our pronouns are she, her. And I'm off with some wild siblings to go check out the university.
Yeah, a place that you've certainly been before, but now with these two, who knows what hijinks you'll get up to. And speaking of hijinks, last but most certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I am playing Catherine Chamberlain, and I'm a student.
Yeah, sure, just a student. And so we're returned to Arkham, onto the hallowed grounds of Miskatonic University. So the university is a sprawling portion of Arkham. Many buildings, many places, but no place like the Orne Library. A place you are very, very familiar with, Charles. You've been here more than a few times. Likely also a place that your sister is somewhat familiar with. She has to do her own research here. It is one of the best libraries in town available to you. I wonder, for a little bit of clarity and perhaps some back history, are either of the Thurgoods graduates of Miskatonic University?
Well, I teach here. I don't think that counts. But, yeah, I probably would have done my initial degree here and then moved on to Harvard.
Yes, I don't believe Charles is a graduate of Miskatonic University. I think probably, maybe he's a Harvard man as well.
Fair enough. So the library is something to behold. It's multiple floors, and there are sections for just about any topic. And so I wonder where the three of you are planning on heading first.
Now, Detective, didn't you say that you were wishing to meet with Professor Armitage? I think I recall you mentioned something to that effect.
Yes, Professor Armitage is the head librarian here. He's an old colleague of the chief's, so...
Oh, yes, I am well aware of Dr. Henry Armitage myself, indeed, yes.
I talked to the chief this morning, and I thought he'd be a good next step. So I know that I was not the only one who thought the university was the next step. Would you like to come with me to see Professor Armitage, or do you have other things you'd like to research while I'm here?
Oh, I'm more than happy to pay my respects to the professor. Yes, of course.
Just of note, those of you, especially with lore in Arkham or history in Arkham, you would know that Dr. Armitage has many degrees, actually from several different universities. So finding the doctor is not terribly difficult, actually. As you are, when you enter the Orn Library, he is in the middle of giving direction to one of the other librarians here. You can see him, the balding man, white beard, slender frame. He wears bifocal spectacles. He's dressed in a suit and tie, as would befit any gentleman in this era. And he has a very august nature just by his presence there. People pay attention when he talks. He has a voice that resonates on the air when it talks. So when he talks in the library, he talks just the slightest bit louder than everybody else in here, but not too loud as to be disruptive.
Do I recognize the librarian he's speaking to? Or?
It looks like perhaps this must be Ms. Long, Nadine Long, head of circulation and the reference section. Someone you've had many different dealings with. Nice, to the point, but also someone who is really keen on keeping things very well organized. She's a knuckle rapper, as the students might say. If you don't put your books back in the right place, you're absolutely going to hear from her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Quite so, yeah. I think I'll kind of walk over towards them and say, it's the morning time, isn't it? When it's just kind of sort of mid-morning.
Yeah, mid-morning.
Good morning, Henry. Ms. Long?
He turns to you. Oh, Charles, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you, very well. And yourself?
Oh, just going over a few things here to keep things clear. We have we're looking into some expansions.
Oh, expansions. Oh, splendid.
That does sound very exciting, Dr. Armitage. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, Henry, yes, allow me to introduce. This is Detective Locke. She's with the Arkham PD.
Oh, detective?
Chief Nichols said that you might talk to me about something going on right now. In fact, he gave me a note for you, and I'll pass him the note that the chief gave me.
He looks at it. Why don't we go and speak in the working room over here?
That makes sense. Yes, let's.
I am currently working with Detective Locke on an associate basis, offering my expertise and experience in the particular field that the case that the detective is working on is involved with. It's something that I dare say the note from the chief of police is more explanatory, but it's something that I'm sure that you, with your vast wealth of experience, would...
Mr. Thurgood.
Detective?
I believe we're all on the same page. Would you like to accompany us into the working room as my consultant?
Oh, yeah, well, that would be splendid. Thank you, Detective. Well, it was very, very nice to see you again, Ms. Long.
Nice to meet you, Miss Long.
Yes. So, we all go into a side room. For a man who is likely in his late 50s, maybe early 60s, it's hard to tell. Henry walks with a very purposeful stride. There are no misspent energy. He doesn't dawdle. He walks into this working room, which has a bunch of big tables and like bookshelves and all sorts of space to lay things out. There's magnifying glasses in here and lamps and things that you can work and get to your studies with. And he opens the door and then sort of pauses and turns and waits till the three of you step in.
I'll nod to him and step inside.
He shuts the door. Now, would you mind explaining what this is about, Detective?
Yes, of course. Unfortunately, the other night, on Halloween itself, actually, we have evidence of, I'm just going to be blunt with you, sir, what seems to be a ritualistic murder that took place just outside of town. It happened on Robbins Hill, and it was a student here who was the victim. I will pass along sort of a bullet-pointed list of details about it being tied to boulders, the bowl, etc. These are the main points that stick out about the murder without going into the excessively bloody details for you.
Yes. Do you include in that, detective, do you include the name of the victim?
Because I'm not positive his family has been notified yet, though I know the chief said he was going to do that today, I will not have it on the slip of paper that I'd be showing anybody that I'm talking to yet.
Okay. Well, it's a terrible thing to lose a student. Certainly this looks like, from the description, rather ghastly.
It was quite the scene.
I visited the scene myself and was able to witness the what you might call the after effects of whatever ritualistics. I personally think that was some sort of blood sacrifice they were involved in. Quite why is exactly why we're here, what their purpose was, what their motivations were.
That is a police investigation indeed, Mr. Thurgood.
Quite so.
I have Mr. Thurgood with me because of the antique bowl used, seeming quite of note. There was a silver bowl used to seemingly collect blood and potentially other contents.
Viscera, Henry, viscera.
Yes, viscera that was cut away from the young man that was attacked. There was Mr. Thurgood's sister also helped me with some insight on the astronomical constellations that were carved into the candles and possible significance of their facing.
Are there books in this room that we're in?
Yeah, there are likely a series of reference tomes, encyclopedias. This looks like a reference working room. It looks like something you would go into, sit down and do work. And if you said, oh, I need to know about X, so let me go and see this series of tomes.
Yes, Annie May, it was, which were the 4 astrological signs on the candles again?
So the symbols on the candles were Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Gemini.
Interesting.
And did you not determine, Annie May, that the moon is currently in Pisces? Is that correct? Or something of that ilk?
Why, yes, Charles.
So, perhaps you could tell me, detective, what exactly you want my help with.
Honestly, when trying to look into leads on this and talking with the chief about how I am not entirely certain this is the first time people have used that site on Robbins Hill in this fashion, he pointed me your way as a very knowledgeable person in this town and in the city, and I hoped that you might be a valuable resource. But if I'm being incredibly honest with you, sir, I'm not entirely sure where your knowledge best suits this investigation. I kind of hoped his note to you might clue you in on what the chief was thinking, but I'm out of my depth here.
What you need is a foundation of knowledge to work from. You've been given disparate scraps of information pulled from a murder site, and we have to analyze and understand what the location and those facts are in hopes to determine what to do next. Perhaps it would be good if we looked into this bowl. Charles, you said you looked at this bowl?
I did, yes, indeed. That's what I was going to say. What do you know, Henry? What do you know of the Hyperboreans? Do you have reference works that we can consult? There was text there. Annie May, you're going to speak to Professor von Lichtenstein, or are you not, at a later stage today, and see if you can get an accurate translation of the symbols and the writing on the bowl? But there were also there was a coat of arms. There was what looks like some sort of a maker's mark. We believe the bowl.
I believe you had said it was the late 16th, possibly, or late. Oh no, you're right. You're right. Sorry, my bad.
Late 1600s, early 1700s, I think. Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
2 important facts. Professor von Liechtenstein is on assignment, and so he's not here. But there is someone who might be able to help. As far as the Hyperboreans go, you're talking about tales of just some of the most fanciful thinking. And these are legends, myths. You might as well say that Achilles crafted this bowl, or Ra himself came down and forged it from silver.
You really think it was created by the gods?
No, Charles. What I think that your Hyperboreans may be a red herring. Maybe something which is a clue which is not a clue. If the bowl was made, then there must be a maker. We need someone who has fundamental knowledge of that sort of specific history. We do have a professor here who did some work when she first came to Miskatonic about this very area. It was one of her first dissertations. We should put you in touch with her and see what she might be able to uncover for you.
Splendid, Henry. Splendid. Now we're really making progress.
Are we?
Well, yes. If we can speak to a professor that can tell us who would have made this bowl, then that would give us a clue as to who potentially would be the owners of the bowl, and we can trace that to who might be the current owners of the bowl, and either they are directly involved, or alternatively, perhaps there has been some sort of thievery, and somebody has stolen the bowl, and we can trace using Detective Locke's resources.
Isn't it your job to do providence on antiquities, Charles?
Well, that's what I'm doing.
I do also know that Unconsidered Trifles was recommended as a place we might go to look into possible resale of it. But that being said, Mr. Thurgood had said that the language and symbols were not readily spoken because it's thousands of years old. Is there somebody who's a specialist on this subject here? Because that would absolutely help this case if there's actually somebody who speaks or reads that language at this university.
I don't know about reads the language. Some of them might be able to interpret it. Language is a funny thing, especially across cultures. But I do believe the professor I'm going to point you to might be able to assist.
So not Frederick?
I would happily send you his way, but he's not here.
Well, who is it you recommend, Henry? Do, please.
I would certainly recommend Professor Schumacher.
Professor Schumacher, I do not believe that I'm familiar with her. Is she a professor of history here at the university?
Yes, she's one of our professors of history. She spent time both abroad and hails from South America. She has a broad historical view of many different cultures. And she's someone that university relies on.
Might it be possible that there would be some works within the library, certain areas of the library perhaps, that we might be able to consult with regards to the engravings and the symbols on the bowl, the insignia? There was some sort of a coat of arms there as well that I'd like to see if I can trace the significance of.
I will look for some books that could assist with this. I have a strange feeling about this.
Splendid.
The way this victim was laid out, it's very concerning.
How so?
Just the details here. The fact that the slab it had been used, not just once. Something may be going on within Arkham that you need to get to the bottom of, Detective.
You're being awfully mysterious, Henry, I must say, but I know you of old. You're keeping us on tenterhooks.
In the library?
Do you mind if I? And Charles takes out a silver cigarette case and takes a cigarette out and offers one to both Detective and his sister.
Do you have any, those books that you're not going to put out for the university students that might contain some information that you might not want them to read about because it's too scary, too powerful?
Aren't you in the middle of writing a paper?
I am, about parapsychology, not about cults.
Yes, well, Francis Bacon said that all knowledge is my providence, and so I'll be very careful with what I hand you. Start with Professor Schumacher. I will look for this book, and then also I might suggest stopping by the Arkham Historical Society. There might be something there that you could glean from. If this bowl was made near here, perhaps there's record of their family crest.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Splendid. Well, is there anything further we need to do here, Detective? Or shall we move on to the next phase of the investigation? The search for Professor Schumacher.
I feel like the search will probably include the professor's office and classroom. So not a long search, but a search indeed. Doctor, thank you so much for your time and knowledge. I have a feeling like we will likely be in touch again, but you have definitely been of service. Thank you.
Anything for the Arkham Police Department? He sort of straightens up a little and looks official.
Did you ever assist the former Detective Locke with anything?
Dr. Armitage takes a really long pull from his pipe. And there's a very solemn nod, and he says, I knew your father well.
Your name came up at home a few times, but I wasn't sure. You knew him well. I'm glad to hear that. Do you remember when you saw him last?
It's probably been a few years now. I think it's back before my trip to Europe, so several years. I understand he's missing still.
He is. Gone 2 years now. But did he seem well before you saw him last?
He seemed determined.
Determined? What do you mean by that?
Detective, I knew your father to be voracious when it came to finding the truth. It's something that probably has fallen down the line to you, but when your father would get hold of something that he needed to know the truth about, he would sort of chew at it like a dog.
That was my old man.
While that is an admirable attribute, it can get one into trouble.
It can. That is true. But I'm sorry. I know that this isn't the case that's at hand, but it's very rare that I get to talk to acquaintances of my father's especially friends of my father's that I haven't already interrogated time and time again about this.
Oh, I don't see this as an interrogation. We have rooms for that.
Of course, this is an interrogation. I just mean it's nice to be able to ask somebody new about it, because back when Dad first went missing, some of them were interrogations, sir.
Of course.
Either way, I'm sure we'll be in touch again, especially with the case at hand. It is comforting to know that a friend of Dad's is here at the university.
I'm certain your father has many friends still here at the university. And there were more than enough cases that walked through the quad and many of our dormitories here. But I'll look for the book for you, Miss Thurgood. I'm sure there's a few that you might be able to utilize in the case. I'm certain that Professor Schumacher will be very useful. She's quite sharp.
Thank you.
And so we'll leave the three of you to head to a very specific building on campus where Professor Schumacher keeps her classroom. And I will move over to perhaps a little later in the day, say after dinner, when Catherine has decided to head back to Robin's Hill. So you were going after dinner, so you're going on foot?
Yes.
Okay. So post-dinner, it's probably 6 p.m. You head back up to the hill. There is some evidence now on the hill that, of course, there's no exact police tape in this era, or at least like this, but there is now a sign that is posted at the bottom of Robin Hill that says, this area is under private quarantine from the Arkham Police Department. Do not cross.
Are there any police in the area?
Why don't you make a spot hidden roll?
Oh, I can do that. I got a 14 under 60. So a hard success.
So, yes, there is a police officer here. There is no car, but there is a posted Arkham police officer here. He is in a black uniform, and he fits in real well, and he is hard to see.
I'm going to do the old classic distraction maneuver of picking up a rock and throwing it like the opposite direction of where I want to go.
Okay, so I like this method. Will you be using this in conjunction with like rolling stealth?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I'll treat this is I'll give you advantage on the roll in attempts to distract the police officer, and then I'll make a spot hidden roll versus your stealth roll.
Okay, so do you want me to roll stealth or throw?
I want you to roll stealth. Well, I don't want you to roll throw because you're not trying to actually hit him unless you are.
No, I'm just trying to throw something accurate enough to distract him to get him away from the general area.
Throw for me is usually in a tense situation or is because you're trying to hit somebody with something. In this, really what you're just trying to do is kind of throw a rock. And what I want to know is it something which will, I believe it's something that will aid you. So I'm going to sort of treat it like an advantage die.
And I just take the lower of the roll, right?
Yeah, you rolled, right. Advantage, so you rolled 2 10s and you're going to take the lower of the 2.
Okay, so I'm going to spend a point of luck to make it a 15 out of 30, so it's a hard success.
That's very good because I rolled exceptionally well.
Yeah, because I rolled a 16 and a 46, so...
You pitch the rock. It sort of knocks off of a tree and then down back further towards ground level, and it catches this officer's ears and eyes, and suddenly he turns. Who's out there? You see him reach and turn a flashlight on. This area is off limits. He starts scanning around. You begin to sort of creep behind him and then get onto the trail which will lead up the hill.
Yep, and I'm just gonna, even if I have to move slower, I'm gonna stay quiet enough so I can get up to that area again. Because I'm gonna climb the tree again.
Okay. You can certainly get up to the area. You want to climb the tree again?
I do. Okay.
So, again, it's a climb roll to climb the tree, even though you know how to get up there. It's still something you have to test for.
Yeah, no, that's fine. 26 over 20. So we're spending another 6 points of luck so I can climb the tree.
Okay, you climb the tree. It's dark up here, given that it's November and it's after 6. The sun has set at this point, or is barely shedding any of its red and orange glow. And as you move your way up each one of the branches and boughs, you get to the spot where you were, and you sort of steady yourself for a moment. What are you doing up there?
I'm trying to get a better and more steady look than I did when I was falling out of the tree the first time. Because that vantage point is exactly what I was looking for. And now that this detective, who was nice enough to let me climb up here in the first place, is also not here to impede my ability to take a look around more peacefully, I'll be able to do that. I'm also not going to go out. I did learn my lesson about going further out on the branches. I'm not going to go as far out on the branches, but I am going to kind of crouch and stand where I need to get at least a similar vantage point to see what I need to see if there's anything else that emerges from my memory of these dreams I was having.
Sure. So you spend time, at least a minute or so, steadying yourself and looking around. You can't even see the flashlight at the bottom of the hill. You're so far up. Things aren't real clear. It's cloudy tonight. You don't feel anything other than the breeze, which is cold at this point comparatively, because of course you're 40 or 50 feet up in the air. But the one thing you do get a sense of is that something sees you.
Yeah, and I'll lower myself back down and just like kind of huddle at the top of the tree because I don't want to climb down if someone saw me.
Okay, so you're just getting a little lower?
Yeah, ducking back like further into the branches, like against the trunk.
Yeah, you duck back, hide for cover. You can still feel it on you. You still feel the eyes of someone watching you.
And I imagine there's not a way for me to be able to tell what direction that's coming from. It's just a general feeling.
Yeah, it's not like detect evil. You're not a paladin. There's no cone that you're attempting to discern through. So no, you're a mortal who feels like somebody's watching you. That's the core of what's going on right now.
Yeah. So did I get anything else from being up there, or did the weather impede my ability to really like see anything further?
No. It didn't impede your ability. You didn't get the same sense you did before. There was no rush of energy. There was no dream-like state that came again. Everything felt really mundane until it didn't. Something massive lands on the branch next to you. It's 2.5 feet tall. It has the head of an owl.
But it's not an owl?
It has the head of an owl.
That's not what I asked.
It turns its body towards you. There's this strange shape below the owl. It's feathered, but fleshy. It has a large owl beak, 2 taloned feet, and the eyes, sadly, so sadly, don't look anything like owl eyes. Human pupils dilate, and it makes this shriek sound at you.
Yeah, I hate that.
It reaches out for you.
Oh yeah, no, we're scrambling down the tree. There's panic now.
You are making a climb roll because you are now under duress.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll make a climb roll. That's okay. Oh, that's real bad.
What you got there?
I rolled an 81 over 20.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. It reaches for you, but where you would normally see the end of its wings, what reaches for you is a tiny hand, like the hand of an infant.
Why?
It's 3-fingered, and it reaches for you, and you fall back in absolute shock and terror. And as you are falling, you're going to roll sanity for me.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Everything's gone poorly. Because I rolled a 97 over 60.
Oh boy. Alrighty, so we'll take some sand loss here. Okay, you are going to lose 6 points of sanity today.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me any. That's a lot of sanity.
Mm-hmm. And now you're going to make me an intelligence roll.
Yeah. And of course, my int is so high that, and this is a roll I want to fail. And boy, I sure don't with 23 under 80.
Very good. So, you fall, and the ground accepts you as one of its own, as does the tree branch or two that you crash through. And all sorts of thoughts, mostly those spiked with pain, flood through your mind. It's a terrifying few moments for you. So, in Call of Cthulhu, of course, when we lose a certain amount of sanity, we have an opportunity to potentially have bouts of madness. And in doing so, some bouts can be taken in real time because there are other investigators around. Sadly for you, Miss Chamberlain, there are no other investigators around. And so let's just see what the future holds for you. You feel hands on you, firm ones. You feel a spike of pain through your back. You feel yourself get propped up against something firm. You're not sure. Images, feelings, sensations are coming and going. You feel something cold now on your back, hard. Under your fingertips, you can feel stone. You hear a woman's voice say, "You're not supposed to be here yet. Why are you here? Didn't your family teach you any better?" The voice is layered. It's like two people talking to you at the same time, but in absolute synchronicity. The face that looks down on you when you catch a glimpse of it is strange. It doesn't even look human for a moment. The eyes are inset. The flesh on the face is haggard, tired. Long, unkempt black hair. It leans forward, sort of dominates your perception. And then, as it leans forward, it kisses your forehead and says, "Don't you worry, I always take care of family." And then it's gone from your perceptions. I'll leave you there. Before I do, though, just to be clear, you're also going to take 4 hit points worth of damage from the fall. So enjoy that. Back at the Miskatonic University, after a walk across a splendid quad and throughout the many halls which are available here, you arrive at a very auspicious office. That office bears the name of Professor Schumacher. There's a relatively new plaque. That would be something you'd pick up on, Charles. The plaque on this office is relatively new.
Would I possibly think that this is maybe somebody else's office? There's a different professor that I know used to have this office until not long ago.
So I would key you in on part of this, and I'll give the other to Annie Mae because that's something she would be more keyed in on. Professor Schumacher made sort of a meteoric rise upon her arrival. Given all of the studies that she had before she came here, upset is the wrong word, but she changed the trajectory of some of the other tenured professors here who were seen as sort of sitting on their laurels and maybe not trying as hard. And as somebody who works really, really hard, she got recognized by the university for doing so, and has maybe she might have rocked the boat a little bit. So for you, Annie, the stories of Professor Schumacher are kind of sort of legendary among some of the students. She's sort of a professor who doesn't take any guff from anybody. She stands up to other people, other professors, when she thinks they're wrong. And she doesn't do so in sort of the firebrand way. She doles out knowledge. And that makes some older professors maybe a little uncomfortable.
I mean, let's be honest. It's because she's a woman, not because, because she worked hard or anything like that. I probably wouldn't have interacted with her much while I taught here because we're in different, probably, buildings, specialties. But I have heard of her kindness but yet fair and stern. How old is she?
You're pretty sure that she's like early to mid 30s. That's why she's really sort of unlike a lot of the other professors who are here. She's still very vibrant and very young, and that's probably also why a lot of the other professors maybe don't like the fact that she's so far ahead in her studies. So that's sort of the more socialized, I wouldn't say student level stuff, but that's like the stuff you heard around the library about her. Like, yeah, she's hard as a professor, but she gets the most out of her students, and she doesn't rest on past accomplishments. She's always moving forward.
She has a good work ethic. I feel like we have some things in common.
You also are fairly certain that her and Dr. Armitage get along really well.
Like, really well?
No, but it's not uncommon for Dr. Armitage to see exceptional people and make sure that they have the pathways that they need to succeed.
Kind of a little jealous. But yeah, I'm excited to meet her. So
there it is. There's the door.
I will knock.
Okay. You don't get any immediate answer.
Professor Schumacher? And I'll knock harder.
Maybe she is in a lecture at the moment or something.
She might be, but worth checking first.
You hear a voice. You hear a voice from inside.
Come in.
I will open the door slowly. Sorry to disturb you. Professor Schumacher?
Yeah, you see a woman dressed in probably a blouse, long skirt, hair up. There's probably a pencil behind her ear, and she's looking at something. She seems very intently working. She has a pair of rounded glasses on, and she looks up.
Oh, can I help you?
Hi, yes, I am Detective Beatrice Locke with the Arkham Police. I have a couple local experts in different fields who are consulting me as I investigate an unfortunate incident that happened on Halloween. Can we talk with you? I think that you might be of great help to me.
Please.
She gestures to some seats. There's a couple of chairs here in her office, and then her desk obviously is there, and there's space on her desk for a few things. She sort of moves a couple of books out of the way and then slides a notepad and sort of pen to prepare herself.
I will make sure to have shut the door again behind us also, so nobody overhears us, hopefully. This is Mr. Thurgood. Charles here is an antiquarian in the area who is helping me with an item that was at the scene of the crime I need to talk to you about. And then Professor Thurgood also teaches here and was helpful in some topic related to this. But unfortunately, Professor Schumacher and the detective will sit down across from her. Unfortunately, a student at this university was murdered the night of Halloween. And it was quite a ghastly and confusing incident that I am looking into. I am trying to catch up on it as quickly as possible, since I know it's already in the papers. But Dr. Armitage said that you might be a good next person to talk to.
She seems to steady herself. When you say that someone was murdered, her hand goes to her mouth and she looks aghast.
A student? That's terrible. I'm happy to help with anything that you think I might be able to.
I very much appreciate that. I do hate to be the bearer of such news. It's not my favorite part of this job, I assure you. But I do believe that it was some form of ritual killing that happened. Terms like blood sacrifice have come up, amongst other things. But there was a bowl present that seems to have been made, according to Mr. Thurgood here, in the late 16, early 1700s. It has symbols and panels of coats of arms. And here, these are the notes on what both of the Thurgood siblings have told me about the bowl so far, as well as some etchings of the symbols on them.
She takes a look at them.
Charles, do you have any idea where that bowl was made at?
There is a maker's mark on it, but I didn't recognize the symbols to any one maker in particular. I don't know if perhaps it's familiar to you. I was hoping that I could consult some of the books in the library with historical records of different silversmiths. in New England and possibly across the world. There's no specifics to tell us exactly what continent even this was made on, but I would imagine, given its date, it was probably in European in origin.
Mm-hmm. She nods in agreement.
I agree.
As I'm looking round the room, do I see either on the desk or on the shelf any historical works that might be, particularly interesting or noteworthy, or anything else even that she's got?
Yeah, so to give you, and probably Annie Mae, who's going to be eyeing the books in the room as well, there's an awful lot of local Arkham and then New England area history in here, a lot of it. And then there's also stuff that governs the classes that she gives now, which is stuff on Mesopotamia and then Egypt. And then she has a fair selection of items, books that detail the histories of different South American countries. But she has her own. There's a bookshelf in here, bookshelf or two in her office that are pretty well filled out. She points to one of the shelves.
I have something over there that might be able to help us identify this. Charles, would you give me the brown tome, the third one?
This one?
Yes, bring it over here.
Fascinating. Yes, I think this should have it, certainly, judging by the title.
She opens it up a little bit. She flips some pages.
So the deceased detective, they're a student in Arkham, and it's going to come out in the paper.
His family is being notified today by the chief, so I trust that I can ensure your discretion until it's confirmed that his family already knows. We wouldn't want his name to get out before the right people are notified appropriately.
Of course. I will be at your soul of discretion.
She says almost with trepidation.
So, I do believe that Mr. Overton's family will know soon, but a young Mr. Overton was found early Tuesday morning. I'm so sorry.
She puts her pencil down.
Was he one of your students?
Brian?
Yeah. I am so sorry to bring you news of one of your own students this way. I am glad that I didn't go into more details of how Brian died yet. I really feel like we can stay focused in as much as possible on just the bowl and specific knowledge points of yours and not have to get into the details.
Of course.
For your sake, that seems appropriate. Annie Mae here, Professor Thurgood, had mentioned the symbols and languages may be ancient races. What did you call them again?
Hyperborean, in fact.
She looks, instead of the look that you got from Dr. Armitage, which is more of dismissal and sort of silliness, she looks genuinely interested at the mention of them being Hyperborean.
Yes, some hyperbole language might be in here.
Ancient, mysterious race of people.
I would hazard that this bowl itself, given the nature of these engravings, is quite valuable and a potentially unique, very rare thing.
I mean, also a 15-inch across, 5-inch deep, sterling silver, I'm assuming, bowl. That is quite an expensive item to just be used in the woods randomly by who knows who.
Yes.
So what I'd like here, if you would, Charles, give me a library use roll with said book in front of you.
Oh, okay. I should do that.
And then for your edification, Annie Mae, there is a book on her shelf that says The Ancient Secrets of Speaking with the Dead.
I gravitate towards that and kind of just take it off the shelf. For clarification, how long has Professor Schumacher been teaching at Arkham?
Probably about 6 years.
That is a successful library use for me, 33 under 45.
Splendid. And so you find something very useful. You find a seal, one that bears the name of James Noyes, who was living in Newport and worked between 1677 and 1709. And that's matches up with the maker's mark. And then you also identify the coat of arms on the bowl, and that belongs to the Abbott family, which is a local Arkham family.
Are they sort of high society people, or what do I know about them? Anything?
You really don't know a ton about the Abbott family, but luckily, you could find out.
Excellent. I take it it's going to be like kind of sort of an old family of if they've got a coat of arms there,
Yeah, they're probably quite old.
Aha! I think I have I've hit upon something here. Professor, tell me if I'm not much mistaken, this maker's mark here, James Noyes of Newport, that matches that which we found on the bowl.
She seems to sort of come out of a cloud of thinking about Overton, and she looks over and judges the two.
Mm-hmm. That seems right. Noyes was a well-known silversmith, a craftsman.
Well, indeed, it was is a very fine piece, and this coat of arms with the woodland insignia and so forth. If I'm not much mistaken, it matches that of the Abbott family of Arkham.
Abbott family.
Considerable knowledge of the history of this part of the world. What would you say to the Abbott family? What do you know of them?
Offhand, not terribly much, but I do remember one man's name, Samuel Abbott. Samuel Abbott was, I think, involved in the witch trials.
In a judiciary capacity, or as one of, let us say one of the victims?
I believe he was a constable here in Arkham.
As somebody with history at Arkham who's lived here my whole life, could I roll to see if any of this rings a bell?
Absolutely, especially because the person in question worked as a constable.
Oh my god, this might be my one good roll for the rest of the month. Storyteller, I rolled a 7 under my 30, so not quite my 5th, but
pretty close.
Hard.
You could certainly, I would say, before you final report, I would allow you to spend the luck to get the 5th if that's what you want.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Intelligent. Okay, so this name, Samuel Abbott, comes bubbling up from your history. Probably comes bubbling up alongside your father's voice, who told you a story about Samuel Abbott a long time ago. You remember that he served as a constable in Arkham, and he took part in the witch trials in 1692. And he was personally involved with the arrest of someone who is supposedly very notorious within Arkham, and that would be Keziah Mason.
What do I know about Keziah Mason, if anything, from Dad's tales?
Keziah Mason is a name that is sort of steeped in a lot of different concern and tales. So during the witch trials themselves, Keziah Mason was someone who had a lot of suspicious behavior, someone who was very much a part of the trial, was arrested for suspicious behavior, was arrested for being a witch, gave testimony, and under questioning, confessed to signing her name into a black book, essentially that she had turned her soul over to the devil. If you believe in any of that nonsense.
When you bring up these names, especially Samuel Abbott, the detective will nod along and go, "Oh, the constable from the witch trials who helped with the arrest of Keziah Mason."
Keziah Mason, you say? Of the witch house? Oh, good Lord.
Presumably the same one, yes?
She was quite a notorious figure.
I remember that name being a constable that my father brought up several times in stories as a constable in the area that helped with the witch trial and arrested multiple suspicious people, including her. And that when questioned, she had signed her name in a black book to sign over her soul to the devil and everything. But I haven't studied the witch trials extensively. I only know my father's story and some local lore, the statues in town.
Mason was reputed to have a very unusual familiar. Can't quite recall the name of it. It was a large rat-like creature with a human face. Annie, do you recall Brown something, wasn't it?
Oh, brother, I think you've got this.
Jenkins. That's what. Brown Jenkins. That was the name of it. Well, of course, I don't think anybody actually ever saw this creature, but that's what they said at the time. And yes, she was quite the character, indeed. A very, very unpleasant and some say evil individual. Why on earth, though, would a constable at the trials in Salem and Arkham at that time, why would he have such a bowl made? That is very strange.
The professor looks at the three of you and says,
I'm not sure. I think if you want to know more about the Abbott family, then there might be more information at the Historical Society you could glean. I only have more of an overview.
Of course, yes, the Historical Society, they would have genealogies and so forth. Yes, that's a very good point. I shall make a note of that in my notebook.
Miss Thurgood, feel free to borrow the book, provided you bring it back.
Oh, I was going to ask if I could. So, the title, clarification, is Ancient Death?
The title is Speaking with the Dead. The Ancient Art of Speaking with the Dead.
This might be a silly question, but as somebody who lacks knowledge of occult rituals and all of these matters that I would have deemed nonsense up until recently, are we sure that his family would have made the bowl and not some witches trying to invoke his family for some awful witch things? Because I can't imagine using a witch hunter constable's family symbol in some form of awful murders to gather things in the bowl, she says, catching herself, knowing that Professor Schumacher is one of the fortunately spared people on details. It seems almost like it'd be enemy thing, not a familial thing. I don't know.
Perhaps revenge is best served in silver.
Perhaps. We'll have to check the Historical Society. Thank you. And again, my condolences on your student.
Yes.
Did Brian have a lot of friends? Was he well liked?
I thought Brian was a quiet but studious student. He's someone who cared very much for his work. I do know that he had some extracurricular activities which took him outside university, as all students likely do. I know that he and one of his classmates, Constance, were eyeing each other regularly in class.
Constance, do you have a last name for Constance? We may need to interview her in the course of our investigation.
Yes, another student, Catherine, had mentioned her being involved with Brian before, but did not give us a last name. I think Catherine was worried about getting her fellow students in trouble rather than just being talked to. I have no intention of bothering some young girl who just lost her potential suitor if she had nothing to do with this, of course, but...
Oh, no, of course not. I understand. I can imagine that Catherine would want to protect her fellow students. Edmond is her last name. Constance Edmond.
Thank you.
One note specifically for Ms. Thurgood there. Ms. Thurgood, Edmund, if that is who you think it is, is probably connected to Miskatonic University Vice President David Edmond. So Constance is likely very well politically connected here at the university for a student. That's just something to think about.
The only other question on that front would be, it was brought up to me that he left a party on Halloween, as students are often wont to do. Left a party on Halloween that was with a girl that wasn't Constance. Was he close to any other female students that you know about?
No, I don't think so. I think Brian and Constance has just a natural way about their interactions in class.
I just had to ask, since whoever that mysterious other student was might have been one of the last people to see him alive. But perhaps Constance or other people who were at that party or were close to him might know. So I will go ask Miss Edmond. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or need anything, also feel free to leave any messages for me at the police station.
And here is my card. Should you ever require any assistance or if you have any further information to impart to us. And he'll hand over one of his cards.
Thank you.
She takes it.
And not to be left out, Charles, do you have my cards?
Do I have your cards? Now, wait a minute. Perhaps I do.
I don't have pockets on my dress.
We've spoken about this before. We can speak to the haberdashers, to the tailor, and arrange for pockets to be sewn into your dresses and skirts if you so desire them. Yes, I have some, and here my sister's card as well.
She takes both the cards.
I wish you luck and speed on your investigation, Detective.
Thank you. I will let the siblings out after I open the door. I'll let them go first, and then before I dip out and close the door behind me, I will go. But seriously, if you have further information on the case, please call the police station and leave a message. Me specifically, not my consultants. Thank you. She'll shut the door.
At some point, you're going to go to the Arkham Historical Society, and then at some point, you're probably going to have to do regular bodily things like eat, etc.
I was thinking it was probably about lunchtime by now, so have something to eat and then go in the afternoon.
It probably is, yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the friendly director's power of montage, which I think is super important. And so we'll say that you have eaten lunch at this point. We will go to the Arkham Historical Society and you're going to do some research there. At that point, it will probably be closer to, say, mid to late afternoon. At the Historical Society is where we'll pick things up when we get back next time. So thank you for joining us for this episode of The Queen of the Night, who maybe paid us a visit tonight. And we'll see you next time.